We like to say that Envato is her authors, so like, Flashden and Graphic River, these sites basically the authors. Like, we provide, the mechanism and the space for it all to happen, but without them. And so we also feel a very great responsibility to these guys. They should all, get their fair share of their hard work. I used to sell stuff myself, so I remember, you want to get a good percentage of it.
How do you find, because it is sort of a fine line in business that, how people perceive you as being the business that's making the money. How do you find that balance? Because I think old style business is we set up a business and we just take money from everybody. This new style business is we let people make money out of us, but we're still going to make money. And how does that perception, do you find people who maybe don't quite get that and they think you're just in it for the money, even though a lot of people are making money out of you?
I'm sure there would be that perception, and at the end of the day, as you say, we are a business, so we need to make some money. Aside from anything else, just as we have a responsibility to our authors, we also have a responsibility to our staff. That's right. We want to provide for all of them.
And you want to grow too, and you want to put money back into things.
It'd be nice if I got some money one day. And it's not that we're running a charity or anything, but at the same time, I do think we feel that there's business has to have a responsibility. I like to say that you think about styles of governance where you think Obama versus Genghis Khan.
Oh, Genghis Khan.
They're both governors of some description, right? But obviously two very different ideas about how how you govern and what is governance and your responsibility to the people. You might say that maybe Genghis Khan was, I don't really know what his motivation was, but it seems a bit, power driven and whatnot. And whereas a sort of today's leaders, I think, have a responsibility of service to the community.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's some, internal motivation of why they decide to do it. It's a pretty hard job. But I think it's sort of the same with business. I think if you think about business maybe in the past or even today, I guess, I think it's a bit like Genghis Khan mentality,
rape and pillage.
Hopefully not too much like that, but business is about you have to make as much money as you can, and I think that slowly in society we're going to move to a model where business is about making money, but it's also you have a responsibility to people, especially as businesses grow. Some companies, like I read recently that IBM has 400,000 employees, so that's like the size of
a
city. That's right.
Countries,
So so companies, as they get bigger and bigger, they have a more and more responsibility of
to the people.
To the people, to the community, to the wider world, advancing our civilization. And I think that slowly, just as governance has moved from Genghis Khan to Obama, that business is also moving from the same sort of transition. So I think that in terms of the balance that you asked about, it's a bit of a difficult balance, and maybe some people don't perceive us, still perceive us as just trying to make money, which we are trying to make money. Of course. So that's a fair enough, I guess, assumption. It's okay.
But Envato is also doing things for the community as well, like a totally non-profit side of things. So tell us more about those things that you're into.
Let's see. Some time ago we ran an event called Blog Action Day, which is an annual event, so we ran the last 2 years. So that was a day when we asked all bloggers to talk about a specific issue. The first year everyone talked about the environment, and our idea was to make it very much action oriented, and specific to blogs. So our freelancing blog, Freelance Switch, wrote articles about how to green up your home office. So like very specific, actionable ways that everyday people can move towards act on a certain issue. The second year was about poverty. This year the theme hasn't been announced, but this year actually Blog Action Day has been taken over by a company called Change.org.
Oh really?
Yeah, they're like a sort of social network for good.
So
they're really good actually.
They've come on board with you, or you've actually handed it over to them?
We're pretty much handed over. It's just really hard work.
But you got it up and running.
Yeah, that's right. We've got it up and running, and we'll still be involved, and of course our sites will all be participating. Of course, but Ben Rattray from Change.org, who's the CEO there, has been chatting with me about the new theme and how it's going to go, and I think in the long run it'll be better for that event. So yes, that's kind of freed us up there, which is good.
Got some other ideas?
Other things coming. We're hoping to do some more with education. We're very passionate about education. and I think there's some real potential for the internet and education. You think about like how the Industrial Revolution changed things for manufacturing, right? Was that previously, say you had a blacksmith who wants to make horseshoes, you have to have this guy who knew all about making horseshoes, so he had to know every step of the process. He had to know how to put metal into the whatever it is. Obviously, I'm not a blacksmith, but he has to put it, in the smelter and then the hammering bit. And then the Industrial Revolution came along and went, hey, we don't need to all do everything ourselves. We'll just go, one guy will do this bit, one guy will do this bit. And it was like a real revolution in how much people could manufacture it. And I think the internet for education is kind of the same. So up until now, say at a university, you give one lecture and you give it to, say, 200 people, and then the next session you have to give the same lecture to a new 200 people, and then the next, and you just keep doing it. Whereas the internet could revolutionize things in the sense that you write one tutorial, say, on our sites, and you could just use that tutorial over and over and over and over and over again. And so I think that's a real cost saving.
Yeah, there seems to be. I know in our business we're getting a lot of people coming to us that want to. They've been doing sort of business coaching or training in the field, and they're all wanting to set up websites now with all their videos online and all the stuff. Everyone's starting to see it as that's the thing to do now, and because they go out and do all their coaching, but they think, if I can get a subscription model and charge people $15 every time they watch this video that I'm doing every day, it's going to be a lot.
Be a bazillionaire. And it'll be you reach more people.
I think that seems to be happening. But what about the technical sides of all this? Because behind every website, behind every great idea, there's a lot of tech. Are you finding? What I find is that a lot of people don't understand what's involved on the tech side, and then I'm sure you know what's involved on the tech side. The impediment of technology to actually make some of these great ideas happen. Yeah,
it does take a lot of work, and it's usually a lot harder than it looks. I often hear people going, "So what do you actually do with like Flashdent? Because you built the site already, so you must just sit around and make money." It's not quite like that. But there's definitely this there's a technical requirement, that's for sure. And I think that in a sense that's what's kind of exciting about it, is that at this particular time in the internet history, to be here with this particular skill set, to be able to make things happen and to make websites and to make them. But it's still hard though. Like it's still it's not like plug and play stuff where you can just go education system, set that up, put logo in, type in your name and address and hit send, and it's all set up. Although there are some things like, for our touch sites we use WordPress, which is like free, and it's not. It's like just press a single button, but it's pretty easy to set up. And so the very first site, which was PSC Touch Site, set up by myself, and I am a web designer, but I'm not a tech guru or anything. So I just set it up and started putting content there, and then you replicate that. So that's all on WordPress, and actually generally Touch is mostly built around WordPress. So I suppose the technology is getting better. But it's a lot better than it was 10 years ago. Absolutely. But for the bigger systems where you're trying to do like education things where people can maybe do tests and get rated and ranked and scored and all that. There will definitely be a lot more a lot more technology required. But I think the thing is to we believe in iteration. So maybe you don't have it working exactly right at the moment, but as long as you have something going, and then you just advance a little bit forward, and as you see things coming, okay, well maybe we should improve this thing and then improve this thing, and I guess you start with something which is a bit crappy, and then you just take all the crap out, and then hopefully somewhere in there something awesome. Well, it seems to have worked for you, because that's sort of how it's happened. You've started off almost as a hobby, and then you've just kind of done something and made it a little bit better, the blog and everything. And I mean, I guess it suits the fact that we're learning as we go. Certainly I don't think any of us feel like we knew what we're doing. Sometimes still today, I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing.
Well, I guess it's evolving anyway. Even the model evolves as you see different opportunities and as things that you may not have thought would be as successful become successful.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. We should go more down that road.